Alright, it should be recording. I see the file and such. It's weird when I start paying attention to things with the recording, seeing that even though it'll say, oh yeah, it's been recording for like 1-2 seconds, the audio doesn't kick in right away. And I'm not sure if that's a recording issue or a processing issue. Anyway, I don't say anything very important right when it starts. So anyway, continuing in Darksiders II Deathinitive Edition. And while this, well, I can't do just yet. Can't start loading just yet because I'll be talking about the co-father. This video goes live on Saturday. I've been recording them on Friday. Today I'm actually recording it on Thursday, and I have a reason for this. And that is, tomorrow, Friday, is when Doom Eternal comes out, and I already purchased a copy, and I'd like to be able to focus on reviewing that than having to fit this in. So, that does also, I mean, I am doing it in middle afternoon at least, so I haven't seen too much news today, which is fine. But it's like, hopefully this isn't going to be horribly out of date, because it's always annoying when it's like, I stopped recording on Friday and I look and it's like, oh, I should have talked about that. That would have been a good thing to talk about.
The journey so far.
I don't even have that much, but interesting.
A grand arena gilded by blood. A giant slain. A toll paid in full. But before the king will help our rider, he must have his dead corpse.
So, yeah, let's see how frustrated I get with all this. So, actually... Okay, so normally, no, I don't want to talk about, I don't want to cover console news. However, like a console release, you know, it's just, you know, who really cares? You know, this is PC stuff, right? Well, you know, sometimes where it's like a good example would be when I was talking about Red Dead Redemption 2. Since that released first on console, but it basically the expectation that it would come to PC was borne out to be true. But this time it's about the hardware, because we finally have, thanks to both Microsoft and Sony, so Microsoft, their information came out first, an idea of some of what we might be able to expect with future AMD GPUs that are based on RDNA. Well, RDNA 2, sorry. So and that's the version that will have the ray tracing built in. And it's also it is also definitely interesting. Well, some of the information that's been shared has been interesting. And one thing I also find a little curious wasn't pointed out until the PlayStation 5 GPU breakdown that the ray tracing acceleration components will apparently be built in to the shaders. So they're not just gonna close this one. Okay. I actually put that back. Yeah, so it will be built into the shaders as opposed to NVIDIA's solution, which has it being the RT cores are a separate thing. Which that is going to be interesting. It also does lend some support to the idea that oh, I can't pull it. Oh, I guess I could just let it come up then. What exactly? Anyway, it supports the idea that the patent that was seen however long ago now, suggesting that AMD may use a approach that would allow it to use the texture processors, I believe it was.
Yes.
For the ray tracing. Which, there if true, will definitely be interesting, because it would mean, yeah. Anyway, because that may allow for, and I've been I've talked about this before, that may allow for a simpler, a better approach than having the dedicated cores. I mean, we will have to see. But it's just by having it built in, you may not, into another component, you may not see as much cost associated with it having to be, you know, a separate component and therefore a larger die kind of thing. We will see. We will see what happens. I'm just now where I think I just want to go. I don't know. Yeah, I guess I did kind of. Okay, let's actually do that.
As you wish.
What is this? Nope. But no, the what I think is more interesting. That's true. I never actually looked over that, did I? Is some of the specs for the Xbox Series X. Did that change anything? Doesn't seem to. Because that APU will have 8 Zen 2 cores in there that can be run with or without the SMT. So it'll be either 8 cores, 8 threads, or 8 cores, 16 threads, depending on what the developer wants.
As you command.
I think. Nope, that didn't change anything, really. Makes it sound like something's changing, but I don't see it. Anyway. Yeah, but in addition to the CPU cores, it's an APU, so it also has the GPU cores in there. Yeah. We'll have 52 compute units. And one thing I didn't put in the news item was that this is 52 compute units from 56. To improve yields, the 4 will be disabled. Kinda nuts. Just look here.
As you command.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe I should just move forward and come back. There probably is more ways to enter this room anyway. But yeah, so and what was it, 300 square millimeter in that class? It's 300 was definitely, the 3 was definitely that digit. It might be like 320 millimeter die with 52 compute units in there. That's gonna be, and that is very impressive, because that is more compute units than the RX 5700 XT has, because that's a 40 compute unit. If I remember correctly, that's 40 compute unit part. So, to manage that, it's gonna be good. Oh yeah, this guy's a judge. That whole thing. Alright.
I have no time for the likes of you, horsemen. I hear the pleas of the dead, not the damned.
And what are the pleas of your lord?
I serve him even now, though he would reward my efforts with eternal torment.
You did leave the eternal throne.
Even here there are souls lost, waiting to be judged and sent into the city of the dead.
I'll go there later.
I have heard 3 such spirits wandering the corridors. Find them and bring them back to me. Once I have cleansed them of their past, I will hear what troubles the Lord of Bones.
Why hear the pleas of the dead?
Before a soul can enter the city of the dead, its secrets must be laid bare and its life judged. It is a matter of mercy. The souls will wander, lost and blind, until then.
Okay. So, yeah, managing to fit that many cores in there, that many compute units in something that small, bodes well for a discrete GPU based on a similar architecture that, you know, you may be able to have. Can the camera please? There we go. you know, think about it, that would mean that a 52 CU discrete just GPU die would be smaller than the 300 square millimeter, which would then allow it to be cheaper to produce. Oh, I remember these guys existing. I don't quite remember the. Oh no! All right, this is gonna get annoying. Well, I can do this stuff too. What else is interesting though about that GPU is that it the Coalition, I think is the name of the developers that worked on Gears 5, put that together. They decided to put together quickly, and this is something many developers would be doing right now, by the way. It's not necessarily unique to them, but they would be, if they have their hands on the test hardware, would be quickly porting a game that they have to see how it performs. And they did that with Gears 5. And the performance that was reported for it, which a quick port, as in they did this in, I don't remember if it said how many, I think it may have been 2 weeks. So no real optimizations, it's working. They were able to turn up the settings to actually near equivalent to the PC at ultra settings. And it's worth noting that one of the things I saw with that also said that it was, why would I summon somebody?
I will serve.
Huh. Well, anyway, you can hang out with me. Oh, that's why. But they were getting a level of performance that would peg it at around the performance of the RTX 2080. And it was actually a little bit higher because they turned up the particle count was higher than the limit for PC. In what is actually a specialized but an APU. It's like that's impressive. Alright. This. And oh, I don't remember. Did I put that in it? No, I didn't. What the clock speeds are, but they are fixed clocks. Which is, it makes sense for a GPU. Well, it makes sense. Sorry, it makes sense for a console to do fixed clocks because that way, the developers know for certain what the performance will be. Sony's decided to take a different path, though, with the PlayStation 5. It's actually going to be able to boost, but not in a way that it's very weird. It's not going to be thermal dependent. It's just supplying so much power, and it's also okay. There we go. Yeah, so that's definitely gonna be interesting to see how well that ends up working. But the PlayStation 5 is only gonna be, and that I didn't know that, 36 compute units. So, decidedly fewer compute units. than the Xbox Series X, but they are going to allow it to clock higher, which, yeah, in the thing I saw talking about that, I'm trying to remember, did I see anything actually from Sony, or I think it may have only been the Digital Foundry piece, which they said something that made me cringe, because how do you not know the actual history to this stuff? But anyway, Sony was trying to justify, or somebody was trying to justify, that a higher clock speed may be better than more compute units, because at a higher clock speed, well, you achieving full occupancy can be a challenge. Which is true. That's actually something that was a problem with Vega. That fairly often managing to get, and even very well optimized games for Vega would still not get full occupancy. So you'd see a lot of performance left on the table. That's also why in some games where it did a better job, you'd see a Vega 64 outstripping the 1080 easily. It's like, and people are like, how is it doing so well? Well, because it was the occupancy was taking better advantage of the very powerful Vega GPU. It just, most games don't. And that's part of the reason why they made changes with Navi, so that it's going to be easier for full occupancy to be achieved. And it does make sense, the argument that by having fewer CUs but faster, and other things also being faster, hang on, that it would, it could allow for greater performance. But it is, again, just one of those, until we actually see it, we don't know. But I still think, though, that it's a promising thing, just that we have that the Series X die, the Series X SoC being that that level of performance, that many CUs in there, is promising, I think, for the future of AMD GPUs. You know what? Son of a bitch! I was trying to hit V and they just wailed on me because I needed to find the key. Alright. I figured let's just wipe these guys as fast as I can. Mainly this guy. Yeah, so I did mention that there was something that annoyed me with the Digital Foundry coverage of, specifically in PlayStation 5, because they talked about how the RDNA 2 GPUs, they'll have this thing called primitive shaders, which sound a lot, which are similar to the mesh shaders that NVIDIA put into Turing. And it's like, do you not remember, or were you just not paying attention when Vega released? AMD has had these primitive shader concepts since before Turing, before NVIDIA's mesh shaders. But they were talking about it like, oh, AMD's finally following suit. This very interesting technology from NVIDIA. It's like, no, we just may finally see the grander payoff for that technology. I remember seeing both the notes Phoronix shared that just fall down here. For some of the GPU driver stuff for Linux, and in there it was mentioned about how the primitive shader stuff for Vega, you know, it never really caught on, but that AMD was going to do more work for what was coming after it. Navi wasn't out yet, but that's what it was talking about, Navi. So, in base, a lot of people want to say that, oh, primitive shaders, they failed, the hardware's bad, yada 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 yada. when it's just, which way am I gonna need to go? I think, yeah, I just need to run across this quickly. And it's like, no, primitive shaders worked, and I don't remember where it was, but I did see something recently where somebody was basically just making the point that, no, the problem with primitive shaders wasn't that they didn't work. Because AMD wanted to set up in the drivers where it would basically intercept the different calls to the graphics pipeline and change them to use the primitive shaders instead. Problem, according to what this thing I saw recently, which would be rumor, not necessarily true, that AMD, when they got it kind of working, it wasn't giving the level of performance that they wanted it to have, so they didn't further work on it. But, no, my understanding for what primitive shaders are and what mesh shaders are is they are basically the same idea. You start doing some of the work earlier in the graphics pipeline.
Judgment is at hand.
So we got this, and I'll keep talking.
Humans, always so frightened. See your life as you truly live.
Now there is also the mesh shader concept that Microsoft is bringing to DirectX 12, which I'm sure that the Series X will take advantage of. It's definitely an interesting concept where there's basically the graphics pipeline has fixed steps to it. Like one of them is tessellation. And what the mesh shader stuff there would allow is basically to change it. To make the pipeline software defined. I'll take what advantages I can. Oh, I was hoping I could get close enough to just swipe at it. And that will... Whenever that... And that's... Actually, that may be shipping soon, because that was one of the 2020 spring update things, I want to say. But, yeah, that could prove very powerful and interesting. The ability to skip certain steps in the pipeline to remove bottlenecks and such. Yeah, that could prove very, very interesting whenever that ships. But that, to my knowledge, which isn't necessarily great, would be different than the mesh shader and primitive shader stuff that AMD and NVIDIA are doing, have done, and so forth. Related, I don't doubt, but not... It is a different thing, technically. I'll do that because I know I'm gonna get hit. Son of a bitch, not what I wanted to hit. Oh hey, woman going. Wow, it actually did that. It actually shot the hook shot thing through an enemy, not grabbing it. That did in fact just happen. And it's done it twice now. There's every reason to hate how this game handles certain things. Hey, you actually grabbed something! The giant hand passed through something and actually grabbed it! like it's supposed to. Now, the real thing that's going to be interesting, but will likely be limited to well, some of it will be, some of it might not be, is the efforts by both Microsoft and Sony, though it looks like Microsoft will have an advantage here, which, because of what Microsoft is and does, that would make sense, is stuff concerning the usage of storage. Like Microsoft working on a direct storage technology that, like DirectX, would be an API, and it's actually a low-level API, so it can connect into the, son of a bitch! Come on, give me a break. Did not mean to do that. I hit right mouse button to get me out of that, and instead decided, oh yeah, you meant to do this, right? That's exactly what you meant to do, right? Of course, that is exactly... No, why am I not doing this? I basically never use the blue pots anyway, might as well use them now. But I can to get healthy. Ow! There we go. I'm probably gonna die now. The real question is, how far back does it put me? Hopefully it puts me back to just his fight, not the fight before. Son of a bitch. Oh, no. I hate you. I'm sorry, it's like in every other thing, right-clicking cancels the interaction. It doesn't do it. So it just annoys me where it's like, I hit right-click, it's like, oh yeah, you meant to... No, that's not what I meant. Looks like I can't do any more on that. Can't do any more on that either. I don't need the cinematic. You can just get rid of it. I already have. The guy after you killed me, though. It is bullshit how you get, they just stun lock you there. It really is just bullshit. Because that is exactly and only what happened there. It's like, oh, I'm going to slam on you once, and by the way, you can't dodge this. And oh, now you're locked, so you can't move. I'm going to hit you again, now you're dead. That is exactly what happened. You should see me play Hades. That game from Supergiant. I am constantly just dodging around, and I'll still end up getting hit, but I'm constantly just going around, moving. This game is not allowing you to do that, period. Like, oh, you want to dodge things so you don't get hit? Nah, we're just gonna hit you more. That is what it feels like. And it's so annoying and frustrating. Now, true, when I was reviewing Darksiders 3, I was going through the entire game. I wasn't taking week-long breaks approximately between playthroughs, between sessions. But it's still, that game did a better job with the dodges. It's like you can actually reasonably dodge things. This stupid-ass right-click confirmed that doesn't exist in other games. It cost me another health bot. I mean, it wasn't horrible, to be fair, but it still is not what I wanted it to do at all.
I will take your head!
No, you are going to try and fail. What the hell? I was starting the dodge. I was in the animation to move, and it's like, nope, you get pulled back, so you get hit. Okay. That there is nuts. But that is just, yeah, that's just how it goes. What the hell hit me that time? I was trying to dodge through all that, by the way, and it's like, nope. And there are no health pots here. Why am I even bothering? It's a game where dodging is essential at this difficulty, and yet is completely fallible. It has so many problems with it. What the hell just happened there? It's like the game decided, oh, that thing that's off screen, you meant to attack that, right? I'm gonna pull you to it. I didn't even know it was there. At least come tomorrow, I should be playing Doom Eternal. That, well, it may be frustrating at times, but for different reasons. Like, I will be able to trust movement in that game.
I will take your head!
Come on, let me. You son of a bitch. Nope. There we go. what I wanted to attack. You know, I have no choice. Because this is just so unbalanced right now. I have no choice but to do this. I mean, it's just, you can't interrupt their attacks, they can interrupt all of yours. And it also, like, point out that Handley was actually dying in that. And that is something I do just disagree with. That when you were in that Chaos Home, whatever the hell it's called, no, you should not be taking damage. This guy is able to move and respond to things faster than I can. And I'm the fucking player. There's no way I'm gonna win. This guy, I can't... He's moving around too well. Because when I got to him before, remember, I got behind him and was able to stay behind him for some of that. This, it's like, no, he's constantly turning, like, right there. Just, oh, I'm going to turn and hit you now. And I'm also going to attack. Well, I kind of already said that. I said, his response is just turn and hit. Oh, it's risky, but let's try this, see if they can hold his attention. Not for long.
Not enough wrath.
I need to move, I need to move, I need to move, I need to move. Finally. Wait. Are you... That was not that fun a fight. So yeah, a lot of the stuff with the consoles. Like, the PlayStation 5 is going to use mainly PCIe 4.0 NVMe, so... Is that technically NVMe like 1.4? Was it still 1.3, but just on PCIe 4? Anyway, that will allow it to be, you know, very fast. Have a very fast connection between the SoC and the assets. No, up. There we go.
Dust.
Go. So do not want to fall down. Alright. I want to say... what I saw was that it will have a higher potential throughput by using that drive than well, that was bullshit. It's like I was hitting the buttons. It was like, nah, Windows not gonna, have you, grab onto the thing that's there and clearly meant for you to grab. There we go. Now you do what I was already telling you to do. And it's also funny how some people are like, oh man, it's such a big deal that, see, the PlayStation 5 is going to be faster in that regard. It's like, I don't know how much that's really going to matter, because, I mean, think about it, modern PCs, is anybody seeing a difference between NVMe drives on PCIe 3 versus PCIe 4 for gaming? I kind of doubt many are. Now, true, new games may take better advantage, but it still is, I feel, we'll just have to wait and see what ends up being possible, but I just personally have my doubts that that will be as significant an advantage. Plus, we also, the Microsoft design is going to be interesting, because they're doing a number of weird and interesting things. I think going forward is the best thing. I don't even know how to get back right now, to be honest. Was there a way over here? Oh, right here. Yep. What do we have here? Stuff. Any of it good? There. No. I mean, none of this stuff is going to be better than what I have. And I'm using... yeah. Isn't it better? Oh, that... I want to clear the stars. There, so I don't need to do the run around the walls thing. Let me look at my... No, I don't have anything in here about it. I can't remember the name of it now either. Microsoft's thing for making better use of the so faster access to its solid-state drive. I don't remember what the name of that is. Both are going to use compression, which on the disk, which will definitely be interesting to see how successful that is. Because that can, yeah, that's one thing that Oh yeah, velocity. Velocity something. Velocity architecture, that's new. There we go. But it'll be interesting to see what comes with that, because, yeah, you can compress a game sometimes quite a lot. And except for the decompression cost, which I'll talk about in just a moment, that can help in a number of ways. One of the ways being that it can make your memory bandwidth more efficient. All bandwidth, really. Because you are able to, you know, if you compress something that's 10 meg down to 5 meg, then it only takes 5 megabits per second to transfer it in 1 second versus in 10 megabits per second. So that other stuff, that other bandwidth can go towards transferring something else. I may die here against these 3 nothings. In part because their attacks cannot be interrupted. Yours can, but theirs cannot be. And I'm not wasting a health pot. I am not. Okay? These assholes are not worth it. I'm just out. I mean, it is definitely a weird thing, the whole, oh yeah, you can be interrupted, but they can't be. I mean, isn't it annoying in every game when you get hit? And so you are interrupted, you can't do whatever it is you're trying to do? That's always annoying, but it just gets even worse in a situation like this where the enemies cannot be. It is not possible to interrupt them except for, like, the shock damage. And maybe when you grab, like that, but then it's, well, that'll just go right through them without actually grabbing them, which makes no sense at all, but... yeah, so that compression stuff is definitely gonna prove interesting. And one thing... I'm trying to remember, I think... Oh, damn it. The damn it is because I have to fight these idiots. There we go. Alright. Huh, the map is broken. Showing me the wrong thing. Yeah, it will definitely prove interesting what comes of that, because it's also... I have tried compressing some games before, and usually there is no issue whatsoever. But I have run into some games where it doesn't work. Now, true, this is now, because it'll be, you know, a console thing, games will be likely designed, or potentially designed with it in mind. To make sure that it's like, okay, we test to make sure, yeah, it's fine. But it will be interesting to see how some compression stuff may end up... wanted to grab that. If we end up seeing compression changing, improving on PC. Because, yeah, Windows has a built-in capability to compress files losslessly. And I don't mean zipping, although that is also a lossless compression. But no, NTFS compression. Oh, which article was that? Oh, okay. But I definitely did write an article where I talked about doing that. And for some games, it is such an improvement. Like, Dead by Daylight worked well. That's no longer the case. And Path of Exile, that at one point was like from 10 gig down to 1 gig. Hate these guys. And already murdered. Just nope. Probably be after this that I quit. I've already been going long enough. Yeah, if I could just straight up disable that one attack, I would. I don't want it to do the whole dash attack thing. It is way too guaranteed to get you hit. Because you are locked, you cannot move, you will be attacked, you cannot dodge. It would have been one of those, you know, hey, do we actually mean for this to be a guarantee that you take damage? That the player takes damage? I mean, are we sure we want that? I mean, can't we have it be in, like, you know, no, you can dodge kind of situation in this where you can interrupt it, not a guaranteed the enemy gets to kill you here? Are we sure we want that? And I have a feeling that in some ways the response would have been root motion. That's like, well, we can't do anything about it. The animation locking you there is part of the attack, so you just have to deal with it. And if, depending on when this was relative to Dark Souls, it could have also been well, it's what people want. It's like, well, people are stupid then. I have no issue with saying that people are stupid if you're gonna design a game to be like Dark Souls. Because it's like, that's a fad, it's a meme, it's not quality. I actually have tapped to try to unlock the camera, which is not the correct key. But it still worked out because it's like, well, I need the health, so... Finally. Plus, that heals me. Man, this game would be so different if you had any impersonation of health regeneration. You know, where I'd get back up to full without needing to waste a health pot or, whoop. Oh well. Or level up. Yeah, you think I'm on the wrong floor. There we go. I had a feeling that might fix it. Alright. Oh, you know, I should do that. No. Oh boy, I've definitely been somewhat scattered. But,
Judgment is at hand.
let this go. Oh yeah, I can also talk about that. So, not only will I be looking at Doom Eternal review soon. I'll start it by the time this is live, but I'll start it tomorrow relative to when I'm recording this. But I also, I didn't ask for it. I'll do something with it though. I said that about the previous one as well. I did get a key for another game, and I have a previous game in that series, so I will do a review for that at some point. I'm not sure when. I've got so many things. It's funny, the whole, like, for me, you could argue all the work I do is from home, but it's like I'm largely unimpacted by the coronavirus stuff. But it's just, I have plenty of work to do. I got this. I got I got Doom Eternal on me. I've got another project I've been working on that's actually really shaping up well. I think I can get to work on some writing for it at least. Got that other review I mentioned. I still want to go in and review Destiny 2. I don't know when I'll do that. Lower priority at the moment. I actually, because it's on a good 50% off. I think, yeah, the sale will be done by the time this goes live. But Borderlands 3 coming to Steam, they decided to mark it down 50%. So I decided, you know what? Yeah, I'll spend the $50 to get the Super Deluxe Edition that has a Season Pass in there. So that way because I've reviewed the other 3 Borderlands games. The pre-sequel is horrible. I don't recommend it. But Borderlands 1 and 2, I do. So I'll review Borderlands 3 at some point. But that I'll probably wait until I can do Let's Play Pluses for Borderlands 1 and 2. And that will wait until I can do... I'd like to finish off the Tomb Raider series first, because I started off with Tomb Raider, then I did like Let's Play Plus for Metro Exodus in preparation for the DLC review. But I want to come back to, at some point, to do Rise of the Tomb Raider, then Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and then I'll probably try to do Borderlands 1 and Borderlands 2. And also, yeah, I have the list up here for other games I want to do Let's Play Pluses in. Far Cry 4 I've got there. That is a fun game. That's also just a give me an excuse to replay it. Just Cause 2, Just Cause 3, same deal there. Mad Max, yeah. Saints Row the 3rd and 4. Yeah, I like giving myself reason to replay some games. I've also got Thief on here, which I want to say wasn't... I enjoyed it. I did find it fun. I want to say that a lot of people didn't care for it that much because it didn't live up to the like classic Thief games, which I've never played. But I would like to go back and replay that, so I've got that on the list. And I'll probably add more things as I think. But yeah, so so many things to do. It's fine though. I just wish I was getting paid for it all. Anyway, see you guys next week, probably.